Hey yo, Worra here. I'm gonna do another behind the track segment. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Um, but yeah, just put out Secret featuring Taylor Moody, and I figured this record would be a good one to go over because it might seem kind of complex, like there's a lot to it, but it's not. It's really not. I think when I was making it, I was trying not to overproduce it, and I was trying to just make sure everything had a purpose. Like, it was simplistic, everything had a purpose and a role, and nothing extra. So let's listen to it. Okay, so let's start from the top. My kick is really straightforward. I layered it with a little click, really just to give it some more punch. And then when we start to look at my drums, I want to point out this one loop first. So this loop is like the core of my groove, and it's got kind of like a Latin vibe, almost like Disclosure-ish vibe to it, and I just love the way it sounded, so I'll put it in here. I chopped it up a little bit. I mean, the full thing is a little intense. I think there's like a big stab here somewhere. Somewhere, whatever. Anyway, so this loop really serving a big purpose, and I use a lot of Oliver loops. They're very clean, they're very well done, well processed, and you don't really have to do too much to them, like cleaning up any muddiness. So yeah, I use Oliver loops a lot. It's my one little secret for you. So really, for the rest of the drums, we just have regular old hat, little skipping hat. I'll add there to make the drums a little more interesting. But and then I have another top loop that I chopped up to give a little bit more width. There's a shaker in there, it's nicely layered. But if you listen, without that Oliver loop, it's pretty basic, pretty boring. Gives it a huge lift. I also have live shakers in here. Let's just do some live shakers. Brennan. Sorry, dude. Yeah. Okay, what's up to option 4? Okay, and then after the drums, so this idea was resurfaced during the pandemic. So there were some elements that were already in here, like this bass line I'm going to add in. That was already part of it. So just kick back in here. And then Taylor's vocal. from there, added these layers, these like musical layers, and I used the tall J8, so this really emulates the old Roland Jupiter 8, and there's a lot of really good presets in there, just a couple tweaks, and it's got this really nice classic sound. So I use that a lot. I also use Keyscape for additional layers in here. But this really was like a big lift in the track, these layers. Just kind of like some really nice lush keys with those. So those are the musical layers. There's a couple other little elements in here that are important. So this loop is pretty important to the groove. Let's just listen to that. It's interesting, like that paired with that Oliver loop. That's like kind of the heart of that groove. So it's crazy that you get that much out of just those two like sounds together, the way they're chopped up. And then this whole folder gives some nice like unique textures. There's like a zap right here, and then these little vocal waves. It's almost like a rising and falling vocal. So it just gives it a nice additional like texture layer. And then another thing that was like super important with this song as a whole is there's a lot of like push-pull kind of call response, just elements in here, and a lot of like different things playing off of each other that I think keep it really interesting. And so these little guitar riffs were part of a bigger Oliver loop again, but it's really intense. No need to use it all. Don't ever use it all. But this is like kind of just a way to sample things smartly, wisely. I don't know. Whatever. Creatively. I don't know. But and then there's another one that I chopped up. So this little folder is doing a lot of cool call response things with like the vocals and even like the this like music folder or music group here. The last thing, I almost forgot about this, that I wanted to show is this lead. So this lead was like the last thing I added, but it's falling in line with that same push-pull call response. I wanted one more layer to kind of like keep things interesting, and I love using repro. I use 1 and 5 all the time. Also just started using Diva more. I really like Diva. But this lead in repro, it was one of their presets, and I just did a whole bunch of tweaking, and ended up finding kind of this sound I'm at now. And It's funny because I liked it so much that I have just been kind of repurposing it on more and more tracks, but it all stemmed from Secret. I used it on Some People Fall. I used it on a track that's not out yet, or even signed. It's called Night Like This. And then another one, Love Boy, which will be out next year. I used this lead on. So it's kind of just like finding sounds that really resonate with you that you've made and just saving those, reusing that as much as you can. It's going to kind of help people identify your sound. Yeah, that's really like the ins and outs of Secret and how it all came together. But moral of the story here, I guess, is just simple and effective versus kind of throwing stuff in there and hoping it sticks, even though I'm so guilty of that as well. But yeah, I hope y'all liked it. I'll keep these going if you'd like, so let me know. Talk to y'all later.